School bus hit by another vehicle just this past December. NBC's Vicki Wen has the details and the new call for seatbelts in buses.
This morning, chilling new video capturing the horrifying moment a school bus in Ohio packed with students flips onto its side. Students flying out of their seats, hitting the ceiling and slamming into windows. Terrified students desperately trying to climb out of the wreckage. Officials releasing this video from the December crash Monday, saying the bus overturned after being struck by another vehicle that ran a red light. 8 of the 25 students on board and the bus driver were taken to a hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. That driver, notably the only person on the bus wearing a seatbelt. While the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says school buses are the most regulated vehicles on the road, most states, including Ohio, don't require seatbelts in large school buses. In fact, they're only mandatory in 8 states. The National Transportation Safety Board now calling on all states to require 3-point seatbelts on new school buses.
We've got to keep the students properly restrained in the event that there's a crash. And lap shoulder belts are the most effective means of protecting our children.
Between 2008 and 2017, 264 school-aged children died in school transportation-related crashes. Last year, we visited a commercial crash test facility called CAPE in Indiana to see the potential risks for riding without seatbelts.
Launching vehicle in 3, 2, 1.
A school bus filled with 15 dummies, 8 wearing seatbelts and 7 without, was sent off a ramp at 35 miles per hour to simulate a real-life rollover. One unbelted passenger flying across the aisle, his neck snapping back and slamming against the seat. 2 other unbelted riders crashing into a third.
These riders did not start on this side of the bus.
In the rollover event, they came out of their seats and found themselves on the opposite side.
All of the belted passengers remained in their seats. Now, after images from this latest real-life school bus crash, a renewed push for 3-point seatbelts for students.
We're a bit dumbfounded as to why districts are not requiring this. Certainly there is an increased cost, but when it comes to the safety of our children, what is a few more dollars?
Very important conversation. Seatbelts save lives. That does it for KPRC Channel 2 News Midday. Thank you for joining us. Channel 2 News at noon starts now.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at noon.
Tragedy in Sugar Land. A mother and son found dead in their home. The father found dead hundreds of miles away. Right now at noon, how the school where that little boy attended is helping his classmates cope with this devastating loss.
Plus, a close call caught on camera. A Montgomery County homeowner comes face to face with a feral hog early this morning. What we know about the encounter coming up.
The rain is slowly starting to move out of our area. You are getting a live look outside on this cloudy and cool Wednesday afternoon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
And I'm Christine Noel. It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, right? We're wondering, though, when we're going to see some changes, Justin, because it's been a weird week.
Yeah, well, it's finally been a wintry week is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
We've seen very far and few between days stacked in succession, but we've actually been like, hey, it's winter. Hey, it's winter again tomorrow. That's not the case. We will start to see some sunshine tomorrow. Not much of a warm-up, but at least we'll get this pesky rain and some of the murkiness out. Our Kaplan Science Relief camera, you can actually see downtown today, which is much better than what we had yesterday, too. 52 out in Katy. We've got 55 at Bush, 60 in Galveston. So everybody kind of sprinkling between the mid to upper 50s. Obviously, a little cooler as you get out to Brennan, Bryan, and out towards moving into Columbus. They're at 46 degrees. So mid 50s, close to about 60s everywhere. I think we'll park it for the day. And most of the heavy rain is now exiting, pushing north up towards the east of Dallas, Fort Worth. So a couple of lightning strikes out near Lufkin. That's about it. We may see 1 or 2 with some of these little batches to the west of us here, but most of what we're going to see is just some moderate rain moving on through, drenching right now the North Freeway from Conroe up towards Huntsville, East Texas as well, and most of that's only dropping about 1/4 of an inch. It's not much. So where things are really starting to get ramped up is where the low is moving up in towards the Midwest. Look at all this snow that's from St. Louis over towards Cincinnati, Chicago. They're going to have winter weather advisories, blizzard warnings out towards the northern plains, and things are going to get a little messy out there. So for the rest of our afternoon, we will start to see most of the rain push out. We'll also see some of the cloud eventually nibble away by about 6, 7 o'clock, and that should put us in store for a better looking Thursday and Friday. Don't expect much of a warm up, though. We're still going to keep things a little wintry in terms of the temperatures, but we will see some sun. I'll show you when that is, and we'll talk about, of course, the weekend forecast in just a bit. Andy?
All right, Justin, thanks so much. Now to a developing story in Sugar Land, a community working to cope with a heartbreaking loss. A mother and her son were found dead inside of their Sugar Land home.
The father was found dead miles away in San Marcos. Channel 2's Vincent Crivelli has been following the story.
He has the reaction from the community and the latest in this investigation.
Andy, Christine, good afternoon. I've been in this neighborhood all day. Detectives just took down the crime scene tape releasing this home as the community continues to mourn. Today, the halls of Campbell Elementary School feel empty. They're missing 5th grader Aaron Logan, who was found murdered alongside his mother Diana Logan in their Sugar Land home.
We're saddened and shocked, just like everyone else.
The gloomy morning reflecting the mood as parents walk their children to school. The pain and emotion still very raw.
I'm sure the whole campus will mourn today.
And I told my 7-year-old that that her friend had passed away. I thought that was enough information that she needed. I didn't share the entire story because I felt like she was a little young for the details.
The details authorities say the father, Richard Logan, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in San Marcos. Officers went to a Sugar Land home to notify his family. No one answered. They conducted a welfare check and discovered Diana and 11-year-old Aaron shot to death.
Thoughts and prayers go out to the family, of course. You know, we're just optimistic in the midst of, you know, the negative situation, but we're just holding on and trusting God through it all.
Richard was a missions pastor with River Point Church.
Hi, my name is Richard Logan.
He is also the founder of the nonprofit Attack Poverty. Now he's at the center of this investigation. And authorities have not officially ruled this as a double murder-suicide. They're still in the process of gathering evidence in this death investigation. Reporting in Sugar Land, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
In Fort Bend County, a jury is deliberating the punishment for Jacoby Payton today. Yesterday, he was found guilty of killing 8-year-old Damari Atkins. Atkins was asleep in the back seat of her mother's car when she was shot and killed after a wreck in 2017 near the intersection of West Fuquay and the Beltway. Payton faces 5 years to life in prison. When a decision is reached, we will update you both here on the air and online.
Officials revealing shocking research results about who's driving on Houston roads. Researchers say PCP is the second most popular drug found in impaired drivers. The drug distorts a person's perception of reality. Data from the past 6 years show that 85% of people who tested positive for PCP were black. 77% of those were men. PCP influenced 16% of DWI cases from 2013 to 2018.
This is a public health crisis because we have a very unpredictable drug which is coming into increasing use in people in Houston, predominantly young folks.
Analysts say the average age for PCP use is just 37 years old. PCP often comes as a dipping solution for cigarettes or joints.
Caught on camera, a wild wake-up call in Montgomery County. A homeowner awoke at around 4 o'clock this morning to his dogs barking at a wild animal. He thought it was a coyote, but instead it was this 150-pound hog. The homeowner says the hog went after his dogs before racing after him, chasing him back into his home before destroying the homeowner's porch and garage door. Eventually, the hog left but returned sometime later. The homeowner says he was forced to run to his garage, grab a crossbow, and put the animal down.
It was a rough morning for commuters in North Houston. Houston police say a truck lost its load at 610 and I-45 around 4 o'clock this morning. The driver appeared to be hauling several trailers that were stacked up when they toppled over onto the roadway. Crews worked for several hours to clean up that mess. Luckily, nobody was injured in that accident.
The New Hampshire primary is over, but the race for the Democratic presidential nomination is heating up with some surprises and new frontrunners. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Some new storylines coming out of the first in the nation primary. Senator Bernie Sanders coming away with the win, though it wasn't quite as commanding as the victory he had here back in 2016 when he had 60% of the vote against Hillary Clinton. This time there's a much broader field up against him, and Pete Buttigieg came in really close behind. He is having a strong surge now, and we've learned that he is actually doubling his staff in the next state, Nevada. He's adding more TV ads there. And then in third place was Amy Klobuchar. She took advantage of a momentum boost that she got after a strong debate performance here just on Friday. That shows you how closely voters were watching this, that made a difference Friday to the vote just last night. And she is now moving on and expecting she'll be able to keep momentum, raise money to keep her going through this race. Elizabeth Warren, she came in fourth, a little bit of a disappointing finish for her, so she has to figure out what her path forward is going to be. And then Joe Biden, he came in fifth position, didn't even stick around here in New Hampshire to see the results come in last night. He went straight to South Carolina, where he is expecting that he's going to get that rebound he needs from some of the more diverse states coming down the road.
How's it going? Hi, Andrew.
But it's the end of the road here for businessman Andrew Yang and for Senator Michael Bennet, both announcing that they are dropping out as this field winnows down and the race heats up to November. In Manchester, New Hampshire, Alice Barr, NBC News.
On the Republican side, President Trump won with almost 86% of the vote. Republican Bill Weld picked up just over 9%. But it was still an overwhelming win for the president.
With Iowa and New Hampshire behind them, presidential candidates are looking to the next contest, the Nevada caucus. For the first time, there will be early voting ahead of the caucus at more than 80 locations across the state. Early voters will still rank between 3 and 5 candidates on their ballot. Their top choice that meets the 15% threshold at their precinct is the one that will be counted on caucus day.
This is going to expand the opportunities for folks to participate and have their voice be heard. It is definitely going to be, transparent. It is definitely going to be expansive.
Nearly 3,000 volunteers are training for the early voting process, which begins on Saturday.
AOC meet MCC. Michelle Caruso Cabrera, a former CNBC anchor and correspondent, is running against Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York's 14th District. Caruso Cabrera issued a statement saying that she is grateful for her wonderful career and that she's running for office because she wants others to have the same opportunities. Ocasio-Cortez quickly became a political star after her surprise 2018 win over Representative Joseph Crowley.
Astros spring training is officially here.
It is today. Pitchers and catchers officially reporting to West Palm Beach for the start of spring training. The players will be meeting with owner Jim Crane today to discuss how they plan to move forward from the sign stealing scandal. Tomorrow, the team will speak to the media for the first time since the MLB handed down the punishment for that scandal. Channel 2 Sports Director Randy McElvoy is in West Palm Beach for the start of spring training. You can look for his live reports coming up in our evening newscasts.
Still ahead at noon, a toddler found wandering in the middle of a busy street in Ohio, where police say he came from and the condition that he was in when he was found.
And we're finally trying to get the rain and the muck out of the forecast, although it's going to take most of the day today for that to happen. However, we will be seeing temperatures just a touch warmer today and some sunshine as we get in towards tomorrow's forecast. Coming up.
Hundreds of people who were evacuated from China in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak now petitioning the CDC for better oversight. The mistake they said was made that put evacuees at risk. Next.
You're watching Channel 2, Houston's home for news.
This afternoon, a decline in the number of new coronavirus cases. China is reporting that 2,015 new cases had been reported over the last 24 hours, declining for a second day. More than 500 cases have been recorded outside of mainland China so far, 2 of them fatal. Here in the States, quarantined evacuees of the coronavirus are calling for more oversight to stop the risk of cross-contamination. This comes after a woman who tested positive for the coronavirus was mistakenly released from the hospital and placed back into the general quarantine at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar.
Let me emphasize, there was no fault of the test itself. The test itself was accurate. The issue was that the test wasn't run when we thought it had been.
The woman's case is the 13th known case of the virus in the United States and the first among hundreds evacuated by the U.S. government from China. Those evacuees are under 2-week quarantines at military bases in California, Nebraska, and San Antonio. 195 people who were evacuated from China finally back home today. The first Americans evacuated from Wuhan, China were released on Tuesday after a 2-week quarantine at March Air Reserve Base in California. Health officials said no one in the group tested positive for the coronavirus. Those evacuees say they are happy to return to their normal lives.
Caught on camera, police in Ohio find a 2-year-old little boy alone and riding a toy bike in the street in 35-degree weather. His socks and pants were completely soaked, and he couldn't tell police where he came from or how he ended up on a busy street in Sandusky.
You trying to go home? What's your name? What's your name?
Police had to go door to door to track down where he came from. Turns out he escaped from a daycare. Police say the front door of that home daycare did have a deadbolt lock, but that it was easily accessible for a toddler to reach up and then open the door.
We tried to explain to her, maybe some child-proofing, doorknob covers. If she's watching more than one kid, maybe get an alarm or something on the door. If the door opens, there's a beeping sound.
The daycare owner was charged with endangering children. She is pleading not guilty to those charges. She could go to jail for up to a year if convicted.
A Richmond, Virginia couple says they are afraid to ride in an Uber again after they were involved in a hit-and-run accident, and the driver decided to chase the person who hit them. The couple, as you can see, live streaming this chase on Facebook and dialed 911 to report that the driver would not let them out of the car. The driver finally stopped only after speeding through several red lights and being hit by another car. The couple suffered minor injuries. An Uber spokeswoman says that driver has been removed from the app while they investigate. I certainly hope so.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
Like, don't do that.
Yeah, no. All right.
Don't ever do that.
Shall we talk about our weather?
Yes, let's.
We'd love to see some sunshine sometime soon. Yeah, I say the weather is weird, but apparently we've had a pretty mild winter.
Yeah. We haven't. Frank and I were looking at this the other day. We've only hit 32 degrees, or below 32, I should say, twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly,
Okay.
right?
That's shocking.
Not only that, but I mean other places as well. The Midwest, Northeast, nobody's had much of a winter, so this is and it's getting late into February, folks. Like we're getting close to rodeo time, and that's when winter is pretty much going to giddy up on out of here, and then the heat starts to return. So enjoy these cool days if you like them. If you want some sunshine, though, we've got that coming in the forecast. It's going to take about the next 24 hours. We'll get it back as we head towards tomorrow. Thankfully, things are improving out there. We still have some light rain with this front moving on through, but fog's not much of an issue. You can see from right here at Channel 2. You can actually see the Southwest Freeway, whereas yesterday, forget about it. It was gone. 60 down in Galveston with 52 out towards Katy. Mid-50s elsewhere. Hobby as you get to Bush. Seeing a little bit of an improvement on the cloud line there. Might start to see a few sun breaks late. That's a live shot from down at the Pleasure Pier at Murdoch's. Pretty calm on the water as well, but still fairly overcast and murky day. 60 degrees right now. And a pretty steady north wind down on the island. So 57 at both Hobby and Pearland. 59 down in Angleton. A little cooler in that upper 40s as you work your way up towards the Brazos Valley. College Station right now has got a 14-mile-an-hour wind out of we call it west-northwest. And so all of this is going to bring in slightly drier air, but it is going to take most of the day for that to happen. Notice there is still a lot of cloud cover, even though there's no rain back and behind on the I-35 corridor, but most of this heavier batches is going to be sliding on through here in the next 3 to 4 hours. It'll be gone because the low itself is up there near Wichita. Some heavy snow expected. They've got winter weather advisories, I should say, from Iowa all the way over, stretching in towards the I-90 corridor as you get up towards Chicago, Toledo, and then eventually working towards Cleveland. So all this warm air feeding into that. You've got the cold air on the backside of that. This is what we call sort of a classic setup of the big area of low pressure. And so this is going to continue to move its way across much of the eastern U.S. So for us, what that means is eventually we'll see the clouds give way to some clearer skies tonight. Not going to go clear. We'll go partly cloudy. Notice that the temperatures will cool off into the 40s and low 50s as we get started for tomorrow morning. So a chilly start to our Thursday, but by tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny skies for some. I think as you get a little closer to the coast, we'll call it partly sunny, sort of a filtered sunshine effect, and the temperatures will be in the upper 50s to about 60 degrees. So Friday's looking real good. Valentine's plans, I think, will be fine. Nice and cool in the morning, should be warm by the afternoon. Eventually, we'll see this high start to meander off to the east. As it does, that'll switch the winds. That'll warm things up as we get in towards the weekend. Notice that little slight chance of showers we were looking down around the coast by Sunday, that's pushing a little further east. So I think we're going to be okay. And then here comes the next front that will bring in some showers, but not until we get in towards next week's forecast. So overall, we're looking pretty good once we get through today for the next, we'll call it 3-4 days. So Friday, obviously, for not only Valentine's Day, but Mardi Gras down on the island starts as well. The Crew of Gambrinus parade is Saturday night, which is always fun. If you haven't been down there, buckle up, because it's always a wild time, especially that first weekend. And if it's decent weather down in Galveston, they do it right.
Yeah. All right. You know what Friday is, right?
What's that?
Valentine's Day, of course.
The one man that remembers.
Well, this leads me into my next segment here.
He's segueing.
Coming up on today's Houston Life, Valentine's Day desserts that you can't go wrong with, Mr. Justin Stapleton.
See,
that's what I meant.
That's why he knew, is because it was right there in front of us. All right. Plus she won Best Actress at this year's Academy Awards, and now you can live in Renee Zellweger's childhood home in Katy. Derek and Courtney standing by with a preview of today's show. Hi, guys.
You all are having too much fun this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. Maybe love is on the brain ahead of Valentine's Day. Also, we're going to chat about the Inspire Film Festival and something that I love about living in Houston, the arts community. This is happening up in the Woodlands, Texas. Today we're going to meet the festival founder and director and really talk about the inspiration behind the Film Fest and why this festival is totally different than other festivals happening around the world.
Can't wait to hear about this. Okay, are you stressing out about where to take your sweetie on Friday for Valentine's Day? Don't stress. Stay at home. We've got these amazing chocolate treats. Our friend Marcia Smart with Smart in the Kitchen. She's here. Listen to this. Hazelnut truffles, popcorn bark, and chocolate fondue for two.
Ooh, sign me up. Sign me up. Also, you mentioned Renee Zellweger's home. There it is. Lauren Kelly today will get a tour of this Katy home that's for sale. It is, of course, trending once again since Miss Zellweger just won her Oscar for her performance as Judy Garland. So that's pretty cool to be able to look inside her childhood home, right? I'd love to see inside. And I guess we'll get to. Let's buy it. The two of us, guys, we're going to buy her house. Come over for dinner and chocolate fondue.
Yeah. So more than just fondue for two, it'll be fondue for four, which sounds like a party to me. So
Done.
Sounds good. We'll
and
see
I'll bring the wine.
Always.
And you're invited, Andy.
See you at 1 o'clock, guys.
A London museum is honoring the best wildlife photographs of 2019.
Coming up next at noon, the photo that took the top award and the other contenders for the prize.
Leave right now.
The sight of two mice scurrying across a London underground platform is, to many, an unwelcome feature of life in the city, but a young photographer is hoping his award-winning shot changes that perception. Sam Rowley's Station Squabble has been picked for more than 48,000 images to claim a Wildlife Photography Award from London's Natural History Museum.
Do you think they're two blind mice?
Oh,
could they be?
Could that
That's
be?
an excellent photo. All right. It's very cool, right? 4 other shots came highly commended, including an image of an orangutan forced to take part in a performance in Bangkok. Another of 2 jaguars holding an anaconda in Brazil, and an image of a rhino and a conservation ranger in Kenya. Also a photo of a group of white Arctic reindeer. Those are all so excellent.
They are. They're all cool. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at the orangutan. I know. That one. That's nature right there.
Yep.
That is nature captured. All right, you are getting a live look now at the Southwest Freeway. Justin will have a look at your forecast coming up after the break.
Let's get that front on out of here.
I know. It's like, come on, go and get. Just get on.
Move along now.
Move along. That's right. Move along. Mind the gap. Get out of there. So that one right outside of, looks like Pinehurst there, moving into southern Montgomery County. That's sort of the heaviest rain we've got so far. That's about it. So if you're around the Tomball area, just keep a heads up next 10, 15 minutes. Otherwise, should be A-okay. Thursday, Friday, we're looking good. What's that? What are those things I have up above the sun on Friday, Andy? Can you help me with that?
Those are hot.
Oh,
for Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Just a reminder. All right, Justin, thank you.